2203. Public Land in Rankin County authorized DFA to assign property to state agencies and establish a new veterans nursing home. And as I understand this bill, there are 3,207 acres that are located in Rankin County. The property in previous years was occupied, or I guess, by the Department of Mental Health, but there are several agencies that have facilities on the property. I think actually 13. You'll see those listed at lines 57 through line 77. And so what is proposed is that DFA would be authorized to survey the property and to also then grant deeds to the various agencies that occupied. Those deeds would be titled State of Mississippi for the benefit and use of State Fire Academy, Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, etc. And then the DFA would also have a survey or description generated where the department would convey property for a new veterans nursing home, which would be located in Rankin County. Also for a countermeasure warehouse that would also be located at the site. And going further, the Department of Finance and Administration would authorize the Department of Mental Health to, I guess, be in possession of water and sewer easements for those agencies that would occupy the property. All of the property would remain under the oversight of DFA, but it would need to be divided. And that's the overall description of the bill. Are there any questions? What says the committee? It's been moved title sufficient do pass. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye. Opposed? That bill will be reported. Senate Bill 2309, Mississippi Department of Archives and History. Add parcel known as the Old Magnolia Church for transfer to the United States Park Service. I think originally the bill that we have before us was enacted maybe in 2012 or 2014. A number of properties were authorized for the transfer to the National Park Service, but there was one property that was omitted. It's a 1.29 acre tract located in Claiborne County. And the legal description has been added and appears at page
3 of the bill, line 547.
And so that's from line 547 up to line 571. Includes the legal description for the Old Magnolia Church. That is what the bill does. Are there any questions? What says the committee regarding Senate Bill 2309? Is there a motion? It's been moved title sufficient do pass. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That bill will be reported. Yes. Senate Bill 2720, tax forfeited land certified to state, authorize Secretary of State to withhold 10% for the cost of tree removal. That bill has been double referred to Public Property and Appropriations. That bill was introduced by Senator Blunt, and we'll call on Senator Blunt to explain.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The genesis of this bill is from Secretary of State's office. They are being proactive, and they've identified a problem where they own tax forfeited property that's coming in for non-payment of local county taxes, and they see that a tree is about to fall on an adjacent property, and they want to be proactive to cut the tree down before it falls on somebody else's property. Unfortunately, they have no money. A few years ago, we passed a bill that swept the special fund that would have allowed them to do that. So the original proposal that they presented to me was they be allowed to keep 10% of the money in this fund, cut down trees. And I said, well, that sounds like a good idea. But I know from the area that I represent, which is the county that has the most, in the county. There are a lot of tax forfeit properties that need to be maintained, and I recognize that you don't have any way to do that. So why don't we take the remaining 90% of the funds and use it to, and you'll see the definition there in on 40, clean up tax forfeited property, delinquent and abandoned property in the municipality where the most tax forfeited parcels are located. Now that's Jackson. So what the bill would do is two things. One, the money that is generated by this fund, which is about $1.3 million a year, would first, it would no longer be swept. So that's what section 2 of the bill does. It prevents this fund from being swept. So that money would stay with the Secretary of State. He would use the first 10% of that to identify this tree problem and correct it. And the remaining balance would go to the municipality where the most tax forfeit parcels are located. And at this point, that is in Hinds County. But hopefully they've worked their way through what's first on the list and then get to Washington County would be second, Hancock County would be third, Pearl River would be fourth, and Lauderdale would be fifth. You just start at the top and work your way down. So the second part is my idea. I talked to Secretary Watson this week, and we're gonna try to figure out. He's not opposed to the bill. He would like a little bit more input on how the money is spent. We're gonna try to figure that out before we take the bill up on the floor. But that's what the bill does. I'm sure.
Are there any questions? And I'd just like to add that I received communication from the Secretary of State who asked that this bill be allowed to move forward. And hopefully can reach a resolution that would pass the floor. And we have someone from the Secretary of State's office. Do you have any comments, ma'am?
And I think we can figure that out. Our main hurdle, of course, is going to be with the second deferred committee, and because that money is now being trucked into the fund. So we state owns this property, and I would say therefore has a responsibility to take care of it. And it's not Secretary of State's fault because that money's been swept, and we need to use it to take care of the property.
Are there any additional questions? Is there a motion? It's been moved title sufficient to pass. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That bill will be reported. Senate Bill 2723, certain real property located in the Capitol complex. No, I'm sorry, I've skipped ahead. 2722 we will call up. The North 40 property, authorized DFA to purchase. And Mr. Glenn Cornbreck is here from DFA. The North 40 is located rather close to here, where we now sit. And DFA, I believe, wishes to purchase that property, and it will be used for parking spaces. And please feel free to elaborate.
Correct. Currently, property was leased by the state for parking for quite some time. We acquired a few lots since then, so we don't use it as often, but from time to time, we do have need for parking. It's in our growth area. It's adjacent to multiple state-owned buildings and would be a good parcel for the state to own.
Are there any questions of Mr. Cornbreck?
When you were leasing it, what we paid?
$79,000.
So if you could get it for. Hopefully they're not supposed to. Sure. You really have an idea? How much? I don't. You know, how much?
We bought the adjacent Bearfield property, which is about the same size, but included a building for about 1.2 million, so it should be substantially less than probably half that. Anyway.
Are there any other questions? Is there a motion? It's been moved title sufficient to pass. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye. Opposed? Thank you. That bill will be reported. Senate Bill 2723 is our final bill on the agenda. Certain real property located in the Capitol Complex area, authorize DFA to purchase. And I think we have Mr. Cornbread who can speak on this particular bill. Please feel free to share an explanation with us.
Which indicates the properties that are contained in the language of the bill. This is the former First Christian Church property that fallen into a state of disrepair. We're concerned that it's going to become unsafe and eventually collapse or burn. It is adjacent to other state-owned property. Directly to the north of this property is our 620 and 660 buildings, which are the gaming commission and various other state agencies. Property to the east of it is state-owned, and it makes sense for us to acquire this parcel. It is a Mississippi landmark, so we would have to work with Archives and History to assess whether it can be saved or portions of it can be saved. If not, we would demolish it, but if it's savable, we would pursue funding for saving it.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
So moved, House Sufficient to pass.
It's been moved title sufficient do pass. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye. Opposed? That bill will be reported. What says the committee? Rise and report. Thank you. All right.
Let me ask you one question here. This house.
Going left and right is High Street. So right as you're coming up the hill on High Street to the right. You see in the back of that church, there's lots of blankets and things being temporarily put up. People are squatting in there.